everybody. Thank you again for attending Harvest Full of Hope. Today I have the esteemed ability to introduce Step by Step and a journey to wellness, stories, skills, and strategies. It's going to be kind of like a panel discussion, and it's going to be hosted by Aimee, Santee, and Alyssa Durnien. And so thank you guys so much for joining us, and I'll let you guys take it over. All right, you got this.
Thank you. Great job. Hello, everybody. The honor is actually mine. I am beyond thrilled to stand here with these four amazing human beings who I've known you all for a little bit now. So we have been working tirelessly, trying to make sure that stories are good and polished and ready for you all to hear. So let's take it away. So today we're going to start off with safety plans. So one thing that Step by Step is known for is our trauma-informed services. So everything that we do with a trauma-informed lens. So we understand that difficulties, struggles come from past traumas, and we try to approach that with a trauma-sensitive approach. So, in saying so, we are going to go over one thing that we like to do as part of that plan is a safety plan. So here are some examples. Some of these examples that you see up top are internal tools. Other ones are external tools. Some of them are tools that we use as individuals and services, as people who work for the agency, and just human beings in general. So if you guys see some of this stuff going on up here, just please, just have some patience with us, and then with yourself as well, because some of the stuff that we share might be triggering to you as well. So please make sure that you are using your tools as well to manage whatever you hear. Some boundaries that we're going to talk about before we present in terms of Alyssa is going to be coming around shortly to pass out index cards to everyone. Part of what we're going to be presenting today is a panel discussion, so it gives you all the opportunity to ask questions of our panelists up front. So if we could just stick to these boundaries, make sure that we're not asking triggering questions, asking details about past traumas. Please no questions on specific family details, diagnosis information. Let's avoid judgment, labeling, be patient and kind, and limit distractions. So if you haven't turned your cell phones off by this point, please do so now. Thank you. So I would like to start by introducing our four folks here. We've got Nikki, Carrie Ann, Teresa, and Frederick there on the end. We are all within the step-by-step realm. Step-by-step, we provide a variety of services we are preferred, we're a rap facility, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling on I'm sorry. Center of Distinction for RAP. So that means that we not only provide RAP trainings to all of our staff, but we provide this as an opportunity for the individuals that we provide supports with. All of our staff are trained in RAP, so any of our staff can also support people in developing those plans. We also provide, we are certified personal medicine coaches. As I said, we're trauma informed. And we also do mental health first aid, which I thought was on here, but somehow it sneaked off that page. So, I missed it. There we go. All right. Thank you, guys. See, you're rolling with me. I appreciate it. All right. Without further ado, I would like to share that our first speaker is someone whose journey is a powerful testament to resilience, courage, and unwavering hope. Life has presented her with challenges that might have stopped many in their tracks, yet here she is, standing strong and ready to share her story with us. It's a story that inspires, uplifts, and reminds us of the strength we all carry within. I am incredibly proud and honored to invite her to the stage today. Please join me in welcoming Nikki.
Hi, my name is Nikki. I am 37 years old. I tell people that I think I was born depressed. I used to always think about dying. I never thought that I was good enough, and here is why. I was born into the foster care system. I spent some time with my father and his wife in an abusive situation. Then I was given to my grandparents. I remember being the focus of my grandfather's abuse and him just being very unkind to me compared to my other cousins. Around the ages of 3 or 4, I was given back to the foster care system. I was adopted at 6 or 7. One would think that would be great. But no, because the pattern continued. I was given back to the foster care system until I aged out. I never felt wanted or loved. I didn't love myself. The people who were supposed to love and protect me didn't. So I was a typical foster child. I graduated high school. I got pregnant with my first child. I had a job. I was going to school. I was in a committed relationship. Things were okay, but I do remember being angry, an angry person. So at the age of 22, I split with my significant other. I became a single mom. I was juggling work and school. This is when I first started noticing I had issues with anxiety and depression. I was thinking about dying. This led to my first hospitalization. I was diagnosed with bipolar. I started medications. However, I reconciled with my son's father, and then I got pregnant with my second child. I had to stop taking my medications. Things were good. I had a husband, my kids, a great home until they weren't good. So, as you can guess, things declined. I never went back on my meds. I isolated from friends and family. I became more depressed. I lost my marriage, my job, my kids, my house. I had several hospitalizations. I was arrested and ended up at the state hospital due to increased symptoms. When I was in the state hospital, I acknowledged that I had a problem, and if I wanted to have a decent life, I needed the medications. From the hospital, I was accepted into an LTSR program. I started taking medications. I started attending psych appointments. I started talking about my trauma in therapy. I learned how to take care of myself. I started advocating for myself, which led to a significant autoimmune disease diagnosis. I started accepting myself, honoring myself, and listening to myself. I learned about rap. I started to identify what a good day looked like for me. I learned to not judge myself and to have compassion for myself. I worked on my personal medicine, learning how to talk to myself with love. I started letting people in who could help me help myself. I am proud to say I have my children back in my life. I have a great apartment. I am a part of a loving community with great friends and support. I am happy to say I have survived 100% of my bad days.
Thank you, Nikki. Our next speaker is the very definition of a warrior. Her path has not been easy. In fact, it's been filled with trials that would have made many of us give up. But she didn't. She fought, she rose, and she continues to rise, not just for herself, but as a light and a voice for others to find others still finding their way. Her strength is matched only by her heart, and today we are honored to hear from someone whose story is both powerful and deeply moving. Please join me in welcoming the incredible Carrie Ann.
Hello, everyone. um, Hi. My name is Carrie Ann. I first encountered anxiety and depression issues during my teenage years in high school. I used to dread going to the cafeteria for lunch because I believed everyone was staring at me. My heart would race, my mind would panic, and I would have to rush to the bathroom and to have a panic attack in one of the stalls. Throughout my teens and 20s, my condition worsened. I was diagnosed with major depression and panic disorder, among other diagnoses. I was initially hospitalized when my panic and depression escalated to suicidal ideations. I remember making a decision that if life didn't improve, I would end it all. The hospitalizations continued into my 30s when I was finally diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. I began experiencing constant thoughts of death. I would hear voices that were telling me to do specific things in a particular order, or something terrible would happen to me. I would wake up in the middle of the night to voices yelling my name and seeing glowing eyes in the darkness with shapes growling at me. Everything deteriorated significantly after my father's passing from cancer. He was my rock and the anchor that held the family together. Suddenly, everyone in my family seemed to turn against me. They believed I wasn't taking the right medication or that I would behave differently if only I would take the right medications. Eventually, I became alienated from my family. They even stopped speaking to me. Throughout my multiple hospitalizations where doctors prescribed me medication, they made my symptoms improve in the hospital, but I still had voices commanding me what to do, dictating my actions. I felt like I wasn't in control of my body at times. I decided the medicine wasn't helping and stopped taking it for a while. Things didn't start to turn around until I fully accepted my diagnosis and believed that what they were saying to me, my diagnosis, that was the reality of what was happening to me. My mind was at times uncontrollable. I started taking the medication as prescribed, and things began to improve. I'll reinforce that acceptance was the key. I finally found a therapist and a team of people to support me, and found an outpatient doctor who would listen to me and assured me that things would get better. I began to accept my diagnosis and the reality of it all. This was life or death. If I didn't take these medications, it would be detrimental to my very existence. I would fall into madness. The voices are still there, but the frightening aspects have vanished. I've learned how to manage my symptoms as far as the voices go. Tell them to be quiet and leave me alone. Today I live almost an independent life and have kept climbing the ladder and pushing forward, a warrior combating the negativity and fear. I've had to fully embrace and accept my illness, to fully own it as part of my life, but it doesn't have to control me all the time. I've learned coping skills to help control it. It's been about 10 years since my initial collapse and breakdown. 10 years since I found myself all alone. I received the helping hand of Step by Step in the mental health community, learning things like personal medicine, attending dialectical behavioral therapy sessions weekly, and actually implementing the skills into my daily life. And I want to thank the whole community for helping and believing in me when I was at my worst. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie Ann. All right. I just want to add as well, I forgot to add this when I introduced everybody, that everyone you see here up on the stage are all residing in the most independent level of living that we provide at Step by Step. So it's literally, you all are at your final steps before full, complete independence. And I think that's something to be incredibly proud of. So. All right. Our next speaker is a powerful example of what it means to keep showing up even when life gets hard. Even when the labels try to define you, she has faced moments that could have made her give in, but she chose something greater: to keep going, to keep growing, and to take claim of her story. She's learned, and now reminds us, that she is not her diagnosis. She is strength, she is persistence, and she is possibility. Please help me welcome the courageous and inspiring Teresa.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Teresa. I'm 53 years old, and I'm honored to be here to share my story. People say cats have 9 lives. I've had 3. My first was with my parents, sisters, and brother. My second life was fraught with the issues related to living with an unmanaged mental illness. I was undiagnosed and therefore untreated due to the shame I felt in having a diagnosis. I began living my third life once I left St. Luke's Hospital and entered into the step-by-step program. This is a program which has helped and supported me in adjusting to my new reality. My program team is by my side with every step, pun intended. This new reality comes by managing my symptoms at my own pace. While working the step-by-step program, I've received support through medication, counseling, and learning new skills. So my team is committed to treat me and not just my mental illness. So I am no longer a victim of my diagnosis. I have managed my mental illness. Management comes by embracing the reality that serious mental illnesses are like any other illness. This is what the step-by-step program has taught me. So by accepting my diagnosis, I'm accepting myself. Today, by staying on my medications, applying the life skills learned, and using the support provided by the program, I am living my third life, which actually is, I am living my best life. Thank you.
All right. Now, get ready, because our fourth and final speaker for today is not only wise, but he has also got a way of making us laugh while telling us the truth we all need to hear. His story is one of learning, unlearning, and ultimately embracing who he is fully and unapologetically. He reminds us that self-acceptance isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. And if you can laugh along the way, even better. Let's give a warm and loud welcome to the one and only Frederick.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Frederick. I'm 60 years old, born and raised in Philadelphia. Our mother and father did their best for me and my 7 sisters. They taught us right from wrong, a strong work ethic, and a good education. Most importantly, a willingness to stand up for ourselves and others, much to a few teachers' disappointment. You had to be there. I have been told by my family that they loved me, but they didn't like my anger. That's where the sense of humor kicked in. At the time, this felt like a good thing. Some folks may call it, I can't even think of the word. It's when you're trying to deflect. That was on purpose. I really couldn't think of the word. This is one rabbit hole we don't need to fall into right now because I go off on tangents. I imagine a healthy me inside saying, wrap it up. Most of my life, I experienced rapid cycling. The pattern of my cycling, pardon me, excuse me, the pattern of my cycling can be random, can be rapid, it can all happen in one day. I could be depressed or manic for days at a time, but I could also be very elevated and crashing within hours. I mean, working hard, doing a 12-hour shift, and just stopping off in an alley to weep. I decided to work on my sobriety after becoming physically tired of it. I drank so much that I just chose to stop. People would take bets on how long I would stay sober. But I'll show you, I'm not going to drink today. In fact, I wanted to add money to the pool. They literally had a betting pool. I feel bad that I actually outlived the home group that came up with that. After several years of sobriety, I realized alcohol was a mask I used for my mental illness. One second. Bear with me here. The print on this is unusually large, and so I am shuffling papers during a speech. Okay. One moment, please. Thank you for your patience. Even in my darkest of times, and I had dark times, I was capable of change. I was able to make positive choices. Today, I allow myself to go through it and get through it. I don't judge myself when I cycle. It's just something I go through. Try not to access Amazon when I'm doing it. Impulse shoppers know exactly what I mean. I am mindful of my behavior when I cycle, and I try to make conscious, healthy decisions. When I begin to cycle, I'm aware when I'm not aware. When I seem confused, when I have bad short-term memory and flashbacks, these are my early warning signs. Today, I allow family and friends in my life. I know I'm not the only one person who could be in a crowded room full of people you know care, but you're disconnected. But today, I let them in my life. I let them love me. I let them be angry at me. I don't let the sadness own me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all so much for your courageous stories. Alyssa, did we pass out? So Alyssa has gone around and passed out some cards for questions. So we'll get started with that.
And if you have a question, just put your hand up and I'll keep moving around. Okay, look at that. First question we got. What was the first time you thought of mental health wellness and what did it feel like?
So what I'm understanding from this question is, when did you start to feel like you were doing well, and what did that look like for you? Is that an accurate reflection of the question?
Yes.
Okay. So what did that feel like? What did that look like to you when you knew, all right, I'm doing better? Oop. Hello?
It was empowering.
How did you know that you were well? Did you see changes in your life?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Yep.
Got your own place, right?
Right.
Started doing your own thing?
Yep.
Those socialization skills you spoke about?
And mending wounds with my family.
Absolutely.
That was important as well.
Absolutely. Anybody else want to share?
I noticed that things were getting better for me um, when I moved to the step-by-step Woodward Street apartments, and then my children were able to come and spend the weekends with me, and just seeing like my whole family like coming back together, and that's when I knew. Yeah.
Love that. And it's such an honor that you have that ability to reunite with your children and just have them in your life. So,
It's very important to me. It's what keeps me going.
yeah.
So in order for it to be able to happen,
you share this in the microphone? Because it's a beautiful thing to say.
Yes.
Can you repeat that, Nikki, for us?
Do you mind taking the microphone and
I want everybody to hear that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
That's-
saying that when I moved to the Woodward Street apartments and my children started spending time with me, and me being able to have my family back in my life is very important because my children are important to me. And also, it shows them how to be strong and how to overcome obstacles.
That is some power right there, I tell you.
I was going to say, if that's not wellness, I don't know what is.
What was the first step you realized that step by step was assisting you and helping you besides being the tool that you needed?
Can you repeat that?
How was step by step helpful in assisting you, and when did you realize that it was helping you?
All right, so we're putting us on blast. How did we help you guys?
I really did just put myself on blast
Yeah.
too.
Did we all make a difference in your lives? And how so? What did that look like for you guys? Is what I'm kind of hearing, right?
Yeah.
Um, yes, step by step helped me. Okay, say that again. Like, break it down.
It says, how has step by step assisted you in helping you to reach your goal
They've helped
after resistance?
Okay, they've helped me by allowing me to have an apartment that's my own. They've helped me with learning about personal medicine, how to take care of myself, how to talk to myself with love. I've also learned about RAP, how important it is to identify what a good day looks like. So that way, if I'm having a tough time, I'm able to recognize it and get help before it becomes a catastrophe, to be honest with you, because every time something bad has happened, it's because I'm not speaking up. I'm not advocating for myself. So there was that's how step by step has helped me. I hope that's answered the question.
It did. Would
I
anyone
heard you
else
found
like
your
to chime
voice
in?
and you're using it right now.
Would anyone else like to share?
They've helped me particularly in providing a shelter for me and a welcoming place to live when I didn't have anyone to support me and I was really down and out. And I first got out of the hospital after my first, I guess, breakdown. And then throughout I went through Step by Step Wild Street. I was at Step by Step Jefferson for 5 years until I eventually was able to make it to the Congress apartments, which are almost fully independent, pretty much fully independent apartments and living. And it it took 5 years of me fighting and asking, is there anything there has to be more than just being at Jefferson. There has to be something for me to progress in life because I want my life back. I want the life that I had before I had a nervous breakdown. I was working. I used to have a whatever normal life, and I had a total breakdown, and I'm climbing the ladder back to slowly climbing it back to getting a normal life. And the connections that you make with certain staff members and certain people that work at Step by Step are really integral into assisting me and being there for me when I need somebody, because I don't have that family support that a lot of people do. Well, maybe not a lot of people do. I don't know. I can't make that generalization. But I, every, the support really makes a difference. And being there when I think, oh my God, I need to go into the hospital and I really just need to use my coping skills and personal medicine and everything to bring myself down to a level and say, okay, I can manage this. And with with that said, I've remained out of the hospital for almost 2 years now. And before that, I was going to the hospital pretty much every 3 months because that was my safe space. That was where I felt safe from other people and myself. And to be able to live without having to go to the hospital and everything, it's been really great.
Thank you, Carrie Ann.
I'll try to make this quick. For myself, this is technically not my first time at Step by Step. When I first moved to the Lehigh Valley from Philadelphia back in 2016, I was given the opportunity by people who saw that I could benefit from the program. I didn't know the Valley well enough to even apply to this particular program, but somebody saw it, and I still have that same like core value to look at when I'm come back to Step by Step this year. That this place, this program, whether it's intended or not, it's allowed me to be me. Um, that's the thing I had to deal with my cycling, my rapid cycling. I could be extremely productive, 60-hour work week, no problem. Look after my daughter, uh, be active in social and church, and then just crash to where I literally could not get out of bed. Um, Ending up in some sort of mental health facility, inpatient, and coming out, and whatever I had done, people had said, "We have to let you go." I mean, no, we sorry to do this, but we have to let you go. And I began to believe that that was how it was going to be. Being at Step by Step, working with the staff of Step by Step, I am beginning, like Carrie said. I'm sorry, if I got your name wrong. I'm very bad with names. Oh, okay. My brain's surprised about that because it's really embarrassing at family reunions. But where you have felt unsettled, unfocused, and not useful just long enough to where you believe it. And then you come into a program like this, you live in a place like we do, and you begin to realize that you have those moments, you may have those days, but that doesn't mean you have to fall all the way down. I mean, no matter how I've felt since I've been here with Step by Step, I know that there's a cushion, that there's some sort of, there's just enough support, even when my own twisted logic or life experience has said I could rely on nobody. Um, so far, working with Step by Step, living in a Step by Step property, I've proven myself wrong. And so it's, to me, it's a minor miracle. Because the most one of the most dangerous people I've ever met was me with a bad decision. So, I mean, and I have a twin, I have a punchable face. We don't talk. But, sorry, another tangent. The point of what I'm trying to say is what I've gotten out of Step by Step so far, is a safe space to be me, to make my mistakes, because today I know I don't have to live in that mistake. I can correct that mistake. I can make another choice. I could just be me, at least for that day.
Well said.
Like Aimee said earlier, we are a center of distinction, and you all have gone through WRAP, the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. What part of those 2 days benefited you the most?
Um, what benefited me the most was actually sharing some trauma that had happened and not realizing how that still affected me or had a hold on me until like I was sobbing. But I was able to release that pain. So that to me was the best part of the rap, was being able to let that hurt, let that pain go. And yeah.
That.
That's when the healing began, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Anybody else want to answer that one? Should we move on?
I think that you can't control others was something that was explored.
Absolutely. We're all about individual choice and right? Yeah.
For me, it was my willingness to listen and learning from the other participants. And I did. I learned some very useful strategies on dealing with my own anxiety.
Right. Next up, Alyssa.
So we know that personal medicine is an activity we do and not something we take. What is a tool that you all use as an activity to work with your personal medicine?
Do you mean like coping skills?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What is one of the ones that you use?
Deep breathing.
I listen to music. I love music, so I have playlists for like every possible emotion that I could possibly feel. So I just love listening to music, and just it really calms me down. It puts me in like a state of just like a meditative state almost. I also meditate daily. I do like chair yoga. I do aerobics. Like these are things that help me. Um, that's a part of my personal medicine.
Anybody else want to share what your personal medicine is?
I think Aimee is dying for me to say something
I love
about
it.
the fact that,
It's so
that
unique.
I hula hoop. I'm not the greatest because I need someone to I can't learn really like tricks from YouTube videos. I'm not the greatest. I can do some tricks, but what I really like to do is just the motion of the hoop moving around my body and putting my hands in different positions to kind of like I almost I think of it as moving energy around my body, and then the hoop is also going around my body, and I listen to music on headphones when I do it, and it's a very powerful thing. Um, that's meditative, and sometimes you'll be in a bad mood, and like Nikki, I always listen to music. I have headphones on 24/7 and tons of playlists for every month and everything. Um, so I'll be down in the dumps, and then I'll hear a song come on and I just jump out of bed and grab my hula hoop. So that's one big thing I guess I use as personal medicine, along with journaling, uh, photography, um, stuff like that. There's probably more, but I can't think of it right now.
And she underestimates her hula hooping abilities. I've seen her do it. She's pretty awesome at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did say that I was going to Congress to check it out, so I'm going to do that.
She's got the coolest hula hoops, too.
Yes, I have the professional ones. One is UV, so if you have a black light, it glows in the black light. So yeah. So yep.
How many hula hoops can you hula hoop with at one time?
Me, just one right now. I mean, just one right now. I'm nowhere near where I can. There's some videos of girls like hula hooping with multiple around their body, but um, yeah, I'm big into using it, and then I start to dance like with music and move around, and you can spin around with and keep the hoop up and then jump up, keep the hoop moving around your body. So it's it, it it's really a fun thing to do to get energy out.
I think I'd break a foot if I jumped and hula hooped at the same time. Either that or I'd take out like the entire living room. But
Taking myself out with my own cane. I would think a hula hoop may actually like need emergency vehicles.
Else we got? Anything? Well, would you like to share a little bit more about Step by Step and who we are here? As Alyssa comes up, one of the things about Step by Step is getting to work for Step by Step, getting to help people be people. We are granted some amazing opportunities to be our authentic selves as well. So I'm going to introduce Alyssa to come up and share some of the ways that she does that in her work. And then they kind of roped me into doing the same, so I'll step out.
so my name is Alyssa Durnien, and I have lived experience as well. I will save my story for a later time for now. My story has helped me to learn how to support individuals like myself as a CPS and a residential manager now for the past decade. I've used my story to learn about tools like Wellness Recovery Action Plan, also known as WRAP. When Step by Step became a center of distinction here in PA, they had myself and many staff members become facilitators and offer these trainings to each other as well as to our peers. It is a rewarding journey to facilitate and support individuals on their journey. Step by Step has also offered the opportunity to learn personal medicine created by Pat Deegan and Associates. Personal medicine is an activity that a person does to obtain wellness rather than something a person takes like medication. After the completing the course of becoming a personal medicine coach, I have been able to assist individuals in finding tools to support their own wellness, as well as supporting my own wellness through education and commitment. Step by Step has also paired with the National Council of Wellbeing and had staff become mental health first aid facilitators so we can teach folks how to help someone who is facing mental health crisis. The training helps keep folks identify, understand, and respond to signs of addiction and mental illness. This is also a training being offered by Step by Step. These training sessions have helped people like me and my fellow panelists be well, stay well, and strive in the community. I'm so proud of all of them for participating today. I know at first you're all like, we're going to do what? How many people are going to be there? Someone said from 200 to 400. So panic set in. It's very special that we have been chosen to trust. They've trusted us all with their own personal journeys, and you are all examples of hope and resilience for all of us every day that face this journey. So thank you for what you all have done. And now, so I got to hear this person speak about themselves briefly at another conference. And part of the reason I asked them to share their story is because one of the things we don't do often is talk about ourselves. But when I heard her speak so elegantly about her experiences, it made me be like, okay, so I'm not so scary and I'm not so alone in my journey. When you're helping individuals with mental health diagnosis while battling your own, it sometimes feels like a very daunting task. But I actually felt human the first time I heard her story. So that's why I asked you. So thanks.
Made me cry. I wasn't going to share that much, but man. So today I stand before you. Most of you know me as a program coordinator. Some of you know me as a certified personal medicine coach. Some of you know me as a coworker, or you're my supervisor or county coordinator. But I am more than that. I am also a certified peer specialist, which it wasn't until, a couple days ago that you guys learned that as well. It's not that it's something that I try to keep secret. It's something I'm actually proud of because it's part of who I am. It's not something that I try to let define me. I was diagnosed at the age of 17, and I didn't want to be defined by my diagnosis. Like many of us here, I'm sure many of you all sitting out there, our stories matter. Hearing all of your stories makes a difference in all of our lives. And every person in this room, it makes a difference. So thank you for having the strength to come up here and stand up here and share that. So back to becoming a certified peer specialist, it was something that took me a long time to say, hey, can I do that? I want people to know I'm right there beside them because we're all people, right? I've had doctors look at me and say, you don't look depressed. You're anxious. Like, I don't see that. But the truth is that, like Alyssa said, there's a lot that goes on inside. There's a lot that we juggle as people, not just people in services, not just people providing services. Life is hard. And something that I have been absolutely honored to do is work with a phenomenal team of people, work side by side with some phenomenal human beings, and walk our journeys together. And that's a pretty awesome gift. So please don't just count your stories. Every single one of them matter. I too, when I was younger, was told I was too much. I was the drama queen. I've been told, oh, you're living a soap opera. But it was just a matter of not knowing how to use my wellness tools, not having that support system in place. So by being at Step by Step, I've been able to build those networks. I'm able to show up here. I remember 4 years ago, I came here and I sat in those seats and I watched people present and I thought, how cool. Like, they're people just like me. I want to do that one day. So thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to do that. And spread just compassion, kindness, love, and keep spreading the good. So thank you guys. There is one other thing I almost forgot about before we wrap up for the day or for the afternoon. As I said, we all have stuff going on, right? Whether you have a serious mental illness as a part of your diagnosis, whether you've got a heart condition or diabetes or whatever it is, nobody's defined by their illnesses. And I have met entirely too many people who allow that illness to define them. So I would love it if everyone can join me, raise their hand, and just on the count of 3, shout out loud, I am not my illness. Can you guys do that with me? All right. 1, 2, 3. I am not my illness. Thank you, guys.
So, on behalf of Harvest Full of Hope and one of the board members, I want to thank you all for coming to Harvest Full of Hope 2025. In your bags, there's a evaluation sheet. Please fill that out. That is the way we know how you enjoyed it, what you didn't like. Tell us the food part. Do what you got to do. Tell us everything you need to let us know. And also, there's a blue ticket in your bags that you should have entered for a raffle. The raffle is going to be called as soon as this ends, so I would recommend you all go towards the registration desk. Thank you all for coming.